What's up, everybody? It's Robert Trolling in Paradise, back with another album review. I'm going to review a new album from Mayhem-Liturgy of Death. I need to go over who this band are really quick here before I go over this album here. Mayhem is a Norwegian black metal band. They've been active for a long time, since the late 80s, early 90s. They formed in Oslo. Formed in 1984, originally. Of course, their story is extremely dark because during the making of their first album, they had a couple of things. Their original vocalist, Per Dead Olin, he committed suicide by shooting himself. He shot himself in 91 at only 22 years old, and the guitarist Euronymous, he took a picture of the corpse, which was featured on a bootleg live album, by the way, that cover. And then 2 years later, their former bassist, who was in there for a while, Varg Vikernes. By the way, fuck Varg Vikernes. He is an absolutely scummy piece of shit. And his project Burzum is absolute shit as well. And by the way, the scummy thing he did was he murdered their original guitarist, Euronymous, in 1993. On top of that, both these guys also burned a bunch of churches together in Norway. So, yeah, the most extreme story ever. And then in 1994, they released De Mistris Dom Satanas, their debut. Anyway, the lineup is Necro Butcher on bass. He's the only original member. And he joined before the release of the first album, though he was part of the recording sessions early on. On vocals is Attila Zihar. He did tracks and vocals for the first album, but he got replaced by another guy known as Maniac, who was with them for a few albums, up to the mid-2000s, 2004, and then Attila returned on vocals. Attila's been the singer since then. The band has two guitarists, Gul from Shining, which that band is also trash. Shining, the vocalist Nicholas Varforth mutilating himself and shit. And of course, Tilok is the second guitarist, so the band has had two guitarists since the 2010s, since their fifth studio album in 2014, Esoteric Warfare. And on drums, a long-serving member, and the only other member to be on the albums is Hellhammer. He is the drummer. He's also in Arcturus. And Arcturus's original singer is a guest vocalist on one of the songs on this album I'm going to go over. Liturgy of Death is the band's seventh album. Came out February 6th on Century Media Records. It's their first album in 7 years since 2019's Demon. We have the same lineup from the last two records for this one. This album has 8 songs, so I'm going to go over it real quick. First is Ephemeral Eternity. Also about misanthropy. That's what they've been at lately after doing away with the satanic themes. Despair, that was one of the singles. It opens with like some sort of Tenebrae, Regnant, Mors Imperat, Sepulchro Corpus Cadit, which I don't know if that's Latin or Norwegian. That was actually one, but Despair is one of the singles. It's really despairing, that song. Weep for Nothing, that was another single. Another song about misanthropy, and obviously. So some of the songs range from the 6 and 7 minute mark. There's only 2 songs that are less than 5 minutes, or only less than 5 minutes. Aeon's End is the shortest song in the album, 4 minutes 56 seconds. Obviously, bringing in Burn All Dead Church Burn, that line, which I guess I'm talking about their past with some of the past guys doing. They were burning churches in the early 90s and stuff. Funeral Existence, another song, another dark one that's almost 6 minutes long, is about death. Realm of Endless Misery is another one that's less than 5 minutes, almost 5 minutes long here. Another misanthropic sounding track, but it's really dark. Propitious Death, another song about death. It's 5 minutes and 5 seconds long. And we finish this thing off with the longest one on the album, This Sentence of Absolution. It's the longest song on the album. It ends with a big tribal section with some chanting at the end. I think Attila is doing most of the chanting on it, considering that he's got this really insane range in terms of his vocal style. With that sort of thing that he does. And yeah, really dark. Closer, about another song about darkness and philosophy. This one. Yeah, this was a really dark album. Probably the most disturbing and dark release of the year. I'm gonna have to give it 9 out of 10. It is a really good album. It's their best one they've done since De Mistris Dom Satanas. And Attila, I do like his vocals on this new album with that thing he does, which is not as bad as some other bands like Marduk's current frontman Mortis. Mortis's vocals are kind of acquired taste. Although I do love me some black metal when it's done right. I do love that when it's done right, that sort of thing. It literally sounds like some sort of demon almost. But yeah, it's a really good album. It's a 9 out of 10. It's one that probably might be the best black metal release of the year. That'll do it for now. I will see you later.